cannot see my mission show up in the list. Make sure that the ship mission option is set to true. Let's see what this all looks like. It's a simple setup. It's a simple 10-step process, as usual. Troubleshooting has no ease. This wiki has no chill. Mission creation. All missions are located inside of your Dashkin install folder. Let's see. Let's give the default install folder. So the default install path for mission data is to add a new mission. You must create a new mission file like this .json. Yeah, let's just see. My mission 01.json. Add this JSON file to the mission data directory. You can refer to a good reference for how missions are created are mission data files shipped with the game themselves. To get your bearings, I would recommend copying an existing mission and modifying it to test out that everything works as you expect. We'll have an example. Why don't we just do the tutorial mission? So MSD training template. MSD training 1. Alright, so let's make a mission data format. So here is a description of all elements available in the mission. So name, default value, and description is what we're going to need. Alright, so we'll have name, overview, and notes. Name, description, notes. Let's remove that troubleshooting section entirely. Alright, so we have a name, we have locked name. The name that will appear if the mission is locked. And we're going to have no notes on you. Make this short but descriptive. Unlocked name, header. I could just kind of copy paste these. Make this short but descriptive. Okay, the next one is description. Long form text, yeah. Locked description. Let's see. Usually not needed. Let's see what are the valid options for this thumbnail. Player number, we have skill rating. Category. So the category of the mission. Let's go grab our categories. Alright, so what do we got next? Stages. An array of stage structures. Refer to stage documentation on to construct these objects. The stat used to determine the rank of the player. Refer to the list of stats for which stats are available. Usually use time. So we got the result here's there. Intro cutscene, exit cutscene. Cutscene to play. Yeah, for the mission. Leave this as none. Yeah. Alright, so we got win conditions, and then we've got the loss conditions. Got objectives. So then we've got the mission completion. Unlocked by. Leave this blank or create the list of data structures. Always unlocked. Set this to true if you always want mission unlocked. Set this to true to make the mission available to play. This is very important. Set to true. Alright. Then we have sort order. The order in which this mission will appear in its category. So let's see what that looks like. Alright, so that's what that looks like. So now we need to go through and do the same for the stage. So we're gonna need, what is this? Mission data format, so you need stage data format. We're gonna need the objective data format. We're gonna need the result tier data format. Objectives data format, yeah, we have that. Conditions data format. And we also need the unlocked by data format. So let's save all these changes. One can edit each one individually. So stage data format. This is the list of, this is the description of how to create a stage object. Alright, so name, description, and notes. So we need the game stage. Keep short and descriptive. Intro message. A short intro message will show up when the game starts. Make this a call to action. Refer to the list of levels above. For the maps, you can use BGM. So what are the options for our background music? Those are them. Alright, and then we got sublevels. So this is a list. Refer to the sublevel list. Sublevels available for each stage, for each level above. Alright, so sublevels, and then load multiplayer sublevel. If the multiplayer sublevel is loaded for the stage, usually this is true. Game mode. Refer to the game mode options documentation in the server setup page for exhaustive options. What options are available? So we have the game mode, we have the player overrides, and the bot overrides. We've then got actions, which are unused. Leave blank, don't include. See, we have no win conditions. Got wind conditions. Refer to the conditions documentation to construct. So we have the failure message, we then have the completion message. It's just what shows up before and after the victory of the stage itself. Alright, intro cutscene, exit cutscene. I'm just going to say unused, leave blank, or don't include. This will be refer to the result tier docs on subject. Alright, then we got color scheme. So let's look at our options for color scheme. Default, classic, dark, light, browns, light forest, dark forest, light caverns, dark caves. So then we got camera type. So what are our options for camera type? They are default, close, far, and test, whatever the hell test is. Camera type, then we have entity type. This is the entity the player uses in the stage. What are our options for entity type? Dashkin and Fadzak. Fat sack is pretty broken. So then we got ball type. This is the type of ball used. And our defaults are default, leather ball, and fat sack. Yeah, he's definitely broken sack at the moment. So we have skip pre and post stage screens. In simple missions, it's a good idea to set this to true. Good for interrupting, transitioning, blah blah blah. Alright. Cutscene completion. Unused, leave blank or don't include. Stage number, unused, leave blank or don't include. As next, unused. Tier, completion tier. Unused, yeah, don't use this. UI options. Let's see, advanced UI options for controlling the stage's UI. Not currently very useful. Let's see. Refer to the UI options documentation. How to construct this object. And then we have time of day. Advanced options for time of day. Refer to the time of day documentation for construct this object. Alright, that does it for the stage. Hello, Darrow, CK and C. Command plus times 5. I have no idea what you're trying to do. Make the text larger. I see what you're saying. Is that big enough? And I could try to do some of this, but that's probably not the best idea. What I probably should do is just go edit the overlay, right? That's probably a bit better to actually read than anything else. Anyway, remind me to change that when I go back to something else. So we need the UI options documentation and the time of day documentation added as well. All right, so objective data. Let's get started on this. Also, welcome, Dashkin C. I have no idea who you are, but welcome. I am working on documenting some of the mission stuff so that, well, so that people could actually make some missions for us in data format if they wanted to. Let's see, name. This is a human readable short piece of text about the objective. Yep. We have results, unused, do not include or leave blank. Alright, so what have our result tiers got on us? So we've got bronze. A list of conditions for the bronze. Refer to the condition documentation. How to make a condition. These are pretty simple. Out of water. I'm out of water. Son of a bitch. Alright, so this is the conditions format, so I need to go look at what conditions look like. Cutscene completion, game objective, time of day. Let's look at the conditions. So result tier is condition. As condition, this is the stat which is used to compare. You're a software engineer for web apps, saw blueprints and was interested. Well, I'm not working on that right now. I was working on it earlier, but that's basically the blueprint stuff that is putting together in Unreal 4, which, because my screen's all screwed up right now, but basically we were doing stuff such as setting up this ball reset widget. So what we were doing was things like hooking up that when the ball reset event got fired, that we would actually go call ball reset, which would actually print out like our times and all that fun stuff, and player animations, and make our ball reset in 5 seconds countdown, and do all that stuff. Yeah, so basically modern game engines are built on having C++ or some like very powerful language which your engineers can work in, and then having a visual scripting editor, because that's been proven very effective at allowing creative people to create complex systems and use what the engineers make. So, you know, it's very obvious, like, set the visibility of a widget. You know, I can actually go do that, and I don't have to understand how to code. And that's real nice. And it's also really effective for making materials and shaders, and like technical artists and just regular artists can actually, it works. Like, you know, it used to be that designers and engineers or designers and artists would have to go write shaders and deal with graphic people and all that stuff. And modern stuff has this more visual scripting language as opposed to like Lua or writing your own chicken language or whatever the fuck. And so I use blueprints for all the easy stuff, and I use C++ for everything that requires actual organized structure. So it's it does get generated into C++ code. So there is that. But it's not nearly. It's really bad at doing complex math. And it gets really complicated. But it's good for kind of visualizing flow. So works for simple stuff. It also makes events real easy to put together. Like events actually, I think, are easier to deal with inside of blueprints and visual stuff than inside of actual code, because it's nice to you've got like the event nicely in its little zone, and it kind of makes more sense in my mind. All right, condition. The stat used to compare. Refer to the list below for all the options. Let's see, we got condition, threshold. Then our comparison. This is what sort of comparison we're using. We need our options for this, which are different comparisons. We've got EQ, LT, GT, LTE, GT. And so that's that. Then we need the list of stats that we can actually use for this. So condition value. We've got a lot of these. We've got, yeah, just a lot. I don't know who did the scripting language stuff first. Like who actually went and put together an engine that had visual editors for that sort of stuff. I think the first thing that it was used for wasn't actually like scripting actual logic. I think the first thing, if I remember, was people were super. I think the first time was like for something Naughty Dog did, they had some visual editor for putting together particle effects, and like their their engineers weren't able to make nearly as good of effects as the artists were, because when they're given the visual system, the artists were actually able to go hook up all this shit that the engineers didn't even think about, or something like that. So it's kind of an interesting thing that once there's a lot of tools where you'll spend all this time and effort trying to make non-engineers productive, such as writing scripting languages and all these other things. And usually it's because, you know, you can pay people less. Like you're paying designers less than engineers. So if you had unlimited funds, you would just, hire more engineers to go implement more stuff, because, they'll know how to do it faster than the designers will. And then you just have one, lead designer who does all that. But I think with the visual scripting stuff, actually kind of flipped that on its head and made it so that designers could actually do a better job than engineers in some respect, because I think a lot more of it clicks with people, so it kind of takes more of the tech out of it in ways that other things haven't been able to do. Because otherwise, it's just a numbers thing. Like how many smart people were you able to hire? Like loss and row, right, score, win loss, win score, accuracy. Let's see, left score, right score, and collect. Alright, so time. The time in seconds. How many games were won? Do I hire one smart person or 5 creative ones? Yeah, it's more of, I think a lot more it used to be you need just as many technical people as creative people, or you need creative people who are technical, so you need more gameplay programmers. And modern engines and editors are actually allowing, studios to have many more creative people than engineers. Alright, so this is going to be the number of goals scored by the player on the opposing team. As you said, creatives are cheaper. That's kind of the thing. It's kind of sucks, but it's true. And I mean, it is a good question. Like, why is that the case? Because engineers aren't actually making the game most of the time. Most of the time, they're just making a problem that all the creative people have to deal with. So why is it that creatives are paid less? It's like, well, because there's more of them. That's all it is. As Are they as bad as when they were the new thing? I remember all tasting like watered down Gatorade. I mean, watered down Gatorade is not bad. I don't know what's wrong with you, Lucas. The ones I drink kind of do taste like watered down Gatorade, so yeah, I mean they do have carbonation, so they're fizzy, but I don't really care. You never had one that was, but they had like 5 years. I mean, have you just not bought any energy drinks in the last 5 years? Because if so, like that's actually an accomplishment. It's like being like, what does Coke taste like? I've never had Coke. I do not believe I've seen Last Night. And I would also expect night to have a K in it for some reason. Number of touch attempts can be greater than 100%. All right. So the two important ones are left and right score. The right or the left team's score, the right team's score, and then collect the number of objects collected. Well, I'll have to take a look at it then at some point. Alright, so we have all the different conditions that can be used. Unlocked by. Alright. Almost done. Alright, so we've got a few of these guys. Let's see. It's got mission name. Must be exact. Alright. Options are alright. You can specify individual missions or an entire category. A none tier means that you at least completed the mission or category. You're a cyberpunk. Hey there, Clyde. You gotta be nice to people in chat. You know, calling them punks might send the wrong message. Actually, that's fine. You can make fun of people. Alright, UI options, data format. What are the UI options that we've got? at show clock. And then we've got the time of day format. So time of day has the name, true or false, if the time of day is set by this structure. We have time of day and time of day advance. So this is going to be what time of day stages start in, 0 to 23.